Here's a shocking truth that might flip everything you thought you knew about job applications. Sometimes, the most successful candidates are the ones who strategically hide their flaws. When crafting your resume, you're constantly wrestling with a fundamental question that keeps many job seekers awake at night. Should you lay all your cards on the table, revealing every detail about your background? Or is there actually strategic value in keeping certain information under wraps? Tom Lane, an economics instructor from the UK, decided to tackle this burning question head-on through groundbreaking research that challenges conventional wisdom. His findings might make you completely rethink your approach to resume writing, especially if you've been following the traditional advice of always be completely transparent. The specific dilemma Lane investigated centers around academic performance disclosure. Picture this scenario. You've just graduated, but your grades aren't exactly something you'd want to shout from the rooftops. Do you bite the bullet and include that less than stellar GPA? Or do you conveniently leave it off your resume? Most career advisors would probably tell you to be upfront about everything. After all, honesty is supposedly the best policy, right? But here's where it gets controversial. Lane's research suggests that complete transparency might actually be sabotaging your chances of landing that dream job. To understand the full implications of this study, let's first break down the British university grading system for those unfamiliar with it. In the UK, undergraduate degrees are classified into 4 main categories, each carrying different weight in the job market. At the top, you have first-class degrees, which are the academic equivalent of a gold medal. Next comes the upper second class, commonly called a 2-1, which employers generally view favorably. Then there's the lower second class, or 2-2, which is considered acceptable, but not outstanding. Finally, at the bottom rung, you'll find third-class degrees, which unfortunately carry a significant stigma in the professional world. Now, imagine you're a recent graduate who earned a 2-2, or, heaven forbid, a third-class degree. You're staring at your blank resume, cursor blinking mockingly at you. What do? Traditional logic screams that you should include everything because omitting information might make employers suspicious. But this is exactly where conventional wisdom starts to crumble. Classic economic theory actually supports the tell-all approach, and here's why. Economists have long studied situations where one party, let's call them the seller, in this case, you, as a job seeker, possesses information about their quality that they can choose to reveal or conceal to another party, the buyer, potential employers. This falls under game theory, which is essentially the mathematical study of strategic decision-making. The theoretical foundation rests on a simple but powerful assumption. When people fail to provide available evidence about their capabilities, observers naturally assume they're hiding something terrible. Some economists have taken this logic to its extreme conclusion, arguing that employers will automatically assume any candidate who doesn't disclose their degree classification must have achieved the absolute worst possible result, a third-class degree. Following this reasoning, anyone who earned a 2-2 or better would be foolish not to disclose their grade, since silence would unfairly lump them together with the lowest performers. It's a compelling argument that makes perfect sense on paper, but here's the part most people miss. Real life doesn't always follow theoretical models. Lane and his research partner decided to test whether job seekers actually behave according to this economic theory. They dove deep into the resume database of Monster, a major job search website, analyzing how recent graduates presented their academic credentials. What they discovered was fascinating. A significant portion of applicants chose to leave their degree classification completely off their resumes. This finding immediately raised eyebrows. If economic theory was correct, this group should consist entirely of third-class degree holders trying to hide their poor performance. However, the researchers suspected that many applicants with 2-2 degrees, or possibly even better, were also choosing the path of strategic omission. To get to the bottom of this mystery, the research team designed an ambitious experiment that would make any data scientist proud. They created over 12,000 fake job applications and systematically sent them to real graduate position openings. Here's the brilliant part. Every application was identical except for two crucial variables, the degree classification and whether or not this information was disclosed on the resume. They measured success using a straightforward metric: how often each type of application resulted in interview invitations or further communication from employers. This approach eliminated all other variables that might influence hiring decisions, creating a controlled environment to isolate the impact of grade disclosure. The results were nothing short of eye-opening and completely upended traditional expectations. As you might predict, applications featuring first-class degrees performed exceptionally well, consistently receiving the highest response rates from employers. These candidates had every reason to showcase their academic achievements prominently. However, the real surprise came when examining applications that omitted degree classification entirely. According to economic theory, these mystery candidates should have performed terribly, suffering the same fate as openly declared third-class degree holders. Instead, something remarkable happened. Their success rate landed squarely between those who disclosed 2.1 and 2.2 degrees. Meanwhile, applicants who honestly reported third-class degrees faced the harshest reality, receiving the fewest responses from potential employers. The message was crystal clear. Complete honesty was actually hurting these candidates' chances. And this is the part that might spark some heated debates in the comments section below. These findings completely demolish the neat, logical framework that traditional economic theory had constructed. If employers truly always assumed the worst about missing information, then concealing poor academic performance should provide absolutely no benefit. Yet the data tells a dramatically different story. So what's really happening in the minds of busy recruiters and hiring managers? The answer lies in understanding the practical realities of modern recruitment processes. Picture yourself as a hiring manager, facing a mountain of several hundred applications for a single position. You've got limited time, mounting pressure to fill the role quickly, and a seemingly endless stream of resumes to review. In this high-pressure environment, you're not going to scrutinize every single detail with a magnifying glass. Instead, you're likely to skim through applications rapidly, your eyes naturally gravitating towards standout positive elements or glaring red flags. If an applicant's degree classification simply isn't listed, there's a good chance it won't even register as missing information. It just gets overlooked in the rapid-fire evaluation process. Of course, the grade question might eventually surface during later stages of the hiring process, particularly during interviews. But here's the strategic genius of this approach. By initially concealing less favorable academic results, candidates who might otherwise be immediately dismissed can successfully navigate past the initial screening phase. Once they secure that coveted interview slot, they have a golden opportunity to showcase other valuable qualities: their personality, problem-solving abilities, relevant experience, or passion for the role. These factors might ultimately prove far more important than academic performance in determining job success. So what's the practical takeaway from this research that you can apply immediately? The strategy is refreshingly straightforward. If you've earned impressive academic credentials, absolutely flaunt them with pride. These achievements deserve prominent placement on your resume, where they can work their magic in capturing employer attention. However, if your academic results fall short of spectacular, you're under absolutely no obligation to broadcast these details. Strategic omission won't guarantee you'll land every job you apply for, but it may significantly improve your odds of getting your foot in the door. The modern graduate job market remains brutally competitive, with countless qualified candidates vying for limited positions. Yet this research offers hope by demonstrating that weaker academic performance doesn't have to define your entire career trajectory, provided you make thoughtful decisions about how you present yourself professionally. Strategic omissions might help create a more level playing field for candidates whose academic records don't fully capture their true potential or value as employees. Sometimes, the most important skills for job success, creativity, leadership, emotional intelligence, or work ethic, simply can't be measured by exam performance. So, if you recently graduated with a third-class degree or disappointing grades, there's absolutely no need to panic or consider your career prospects doomed. More importantly, there's no compelling reason to volunteer this information if it's going to work against you. But here's where I want to stir up some controversy and get you thinking. Is this approach really ethical? Are we essentially encouraging deception, or is this simply smart strategic communication? Should employers adapt their screening processes to account for this behavior, or should candidates be more transparent regardless of the consequences? What's your take on this research? Do you think strategic omission is a legitimate tool for leveling the playing field, or does it cross an ethical line? Have you ever faced this dilemma yourself, and what did you choose to do? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Whether you agree or disagree with these findings, your perspective could help other job seekers navigate this tricky terrain.